No, I was muted. No,
Oh,
dude, I
Jack.
was okay. I'm going to throw out the excuse. There's 3 things that I can mute, and I muted the one thing that I shouldn't have muted. Anyway, welcome. This is the Summer Stage Qualifiers here in the East. My name is Jaws. I'm joined by Scott. Day number 2 of this weekend. We've got 4 banging games coming up for you in just a moment. O2 Blast versus Dreamers is going to be our first one, Scott.
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting day of matches. Obviously, some fun stuff happening in the West. The Atlanta Reign are toppling from their throne. So everything's up for grabs for all of these teams. But as you said, Jack, we're starting with O2 Blast versus Dreamers. And this is a series that both of these teams are sort of coming off of success against the Seoul Dynasty. Unfortunately for Dreamers, they did just fall short. But O2 Blast, on the other hand, did just take a match win in the previous weekend against Seoul Dynasty. So maybe we could have a close series on this one.
Yeah, you feel pretty good, but then you got to remember O2 Blast really only plays one thing, right? And that's the Ram, when Winston is just so meta, like hard meta almost on most maps. Although I say that, hard meta. Yeah. We've seen a lot of Ryan recently. Florida Mayhem, London Spitfire.
That's true.
Maybe Protect wants to back up onto the Reinhardt, maybe potentially.
Yeah, it's hard to really know. There's a lot of people throwing a lot of different things at the wall, and that's genuinely what happens when we have a big patch coming through. Remember, Season 6 is right around the corner. That's going to be coming into the Overwatch League very soon. So a lot of teams are just fighting to get as many wins as they can before potentially a huge meta shift heading into the playoffs. So do whatever you can to win. If you need to play some Reinhardt to get some dubs in the board, Jack, yo, all the power to you.
Hey, that's fine. Hey, it's not cheating, so it's all good. All good. There's the standings, by the way. As of week 3 day number 1, obviously we're week 3 day number 2 now. Just feel, still 5-0, Seoul Infernal 4-1, but O2 Blast, which is a bit of a strange position for them to be in, honestly. Just historically, they have been the most dominant contenders team in Korea, and sitting at 1-3, not great. Even with veterans on their roster too, in people like Who Are You, who's been around since like Apex, right? Prophet from Seoul Dynasty, or Prophet, however you want to call him. Him moving over to the roster, like he's had some time in a tier 1 team and played alongside one of the GOATs of Overwatch. But the team just can't find success, and maybe that is because Protect can't really play that Winston. Maybe it's just not the meta for them, but man, that meta is going to be sticking throughout this whole year. I've got a good feeling. Playoffs is going to be a different patch, but Winston's probably still going to be strong. Good thing in mind. Got a good thought about that. But here's today's matchups, by the way. O2 Blast, Dreamers, then Charge, Fuel, Infernal, Panthera, Spark, and Dragons to round out the day.
Yeah, many great matches. Obviously, Dallas Fuel looking to be the hot team in the East. Guangzhou Charge with a massive retooling. They're fully Chinese roster now. We'll see how both of these teams stand up against each other. And then Hangzhou Spark versus Shanghai Dragons. This is a classic match in my eyes, Jack. I don't know if you're getting that tingling feeling, but it's like Hangzhou Spark should win this easily. So it's probably going to map 5. Like, let's be honest. That's how I always see it in the tea leaves with both of these rosters.
Hey, they like to keep it interesting, man. They like to keep it interesting. That's okay. That's this second game as well. Charge Fuel. We'll talk about it, obviously, when we lead up to that game. But, man, that might just be a one-sided blast. Speaking of blast, though.
Oh, nice.
You see that segue? That was crazy.
Yeah,
that's what you get. You put us on APAC, you get the best segues known to man. I'm just saying.
Yesterday you were great, mate. I actually saw a comment that someone said Jaws was running on battery saver mode, and I thought that was brilliant.
Let me stick up for myself for the second time this stream already. I had been up for 24 hours. It was my birthday. I didn't drink anything. I don't really drink that much, but look, I've been up for 24 hours. But today, rested. Revitalized.
Ready to go.
Coffee in the system. Ready to go. I'm ready. Here's O2 Blast, of course, on your screens. The lineup for today. There's no changes. They haven't got a big roster. Only the 5-man roster, but they're going to come in pretty strong. And you'd hope at least getting an extra couple of wins here, man. They're tied with Panthera and Charge currently in terms of the scoreline, but map score, they're way down the bottom. So O2 Blast, they need dubs. Historically, they've been a team. They've been the feeder team for the Overwatch League to teams like the San Francisco Shock. But this time around, nah, it's not happening for them.
And I wanted to hit on that, Jack, because, you said O2 Blast have historically been one of the best teams in the Eastern region, but they have been a feeder team almost to a detriment to their own team this season. They lost so many great players, Knife, Top Dragon, Attack, Irony, Opener, like all of these guys have played on that roster so far throughout the season, but now they have a different roster and they're going to have to fill it out. Dreamers, another team that has sort of had the same issue of just sort of losing players, bits and pieces, but as I said yesterday, they just narrowly fell short to the Seoul Dynasty. They're looking quite good, and especially leading from the front, Sad and Top Dragon have really been impressing me of late.
Yeah, I mean, Top Dragon, people have been calling for him to go to the league, like ASAP.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You expect big things out of Dreamers. And speaking of like Dreamers or Dreamer, like it's crazy to see Dreamer, by the way. Like I don't think we've casted Dreamer this year. I don't think we have, but
no, not so far this year.
It is crazy to think that he was in the league for a short while. He was on the LA Valiant for a year and a bit, and then he was on the Houston Outlaws too. Not the longest stint on the Houston Outlaws, but I'm glad to see him kind of grinding away. Went to coach for a little bit for Ground Zero Gaming, and then back to being a player. And it's good to see him back in the league, or back in contenders, and I guess technically in the league in a way, right? You're in the qualifiers. Here's some head-to-head stats that for Diva. We're protecting Liga, but Liga, another kind of Chad in the tank role that's been around for a while.
Yeah, and both of these guys, I think this stat card perfectly encapsulates both of these teams. They're willing to go to their own team's strengths, even if it is unconventional. You understand that you're not always going to be able to play the Winston. If you can't play it to that level, play something different. And so far on Diva in the Summer Qualifiers, Liga has definitely gotten the better end of the stick. Look at those numbers. They were just off the charts. I don't expect to see Diva, though, on the first map of Busan, unless they really are feeling desperate.
What would you think of a Diva meta? Happy or sad?
I love it. I feel like I would enjoy it. I think there's a lot of great Diva players who have just sort of been waiting for their moment since Overwatch 2 came into the limelight, because, it's been very Winston-centric, and especially all these new heroes like Junker Queen and Ramatra now coming out. A lot of great Diva players haven't really been able to flex those muscles. So it'd be cool to see. But, we're even seeing flexing from both of these teams, right? Like, O2 Blast in particular, Protect, he does like to play Diva on maps where he should play Winston, and that's why we have seen so much from it. But even then, they're also willing to play Ramatra on maps that no other team is playing it on.
I mean, Diva just doesn't control the space quite like Winston does, sadly. I mean, you got the Matrix, sure, but it's no Bubble. Like, Bubble, one of the most important abilities in the current meta.
And you can't die.
Yeah,
that's the problem, right? Like, you can't go really far with the Diva. Like, you're all going as quickly as your thrusters can take you, but you don't have that leap like a Winston, which really enables the dive so much. Diva's such a defensive-orientated hero.
All right, round number one. Round number one, Busan. O2 Blast and Dreamers going to roll out the gate. And yeah, I mean, I expect O2 Blast to stick with something like this throughout the entire season. Not season, sorry, Titan series even. But the Ramatra on this stage, man, I don't know about going Ram on Shrine. Like, you are just going to get hard flanked. Like, as long as you stick away from the Ram and stop him getting crazy Nemesis forms off, it's pretty easy. Like, you just kind of shoot him. Like, he's not that tough of a target to actually shoot. Hitbox is pretty big, plus the shield isn't constant like it is on Rhine. Protect's going to have a rough time here.
Yeah, I would almost expect him just to sit on the point, anchor down on there, and make others come to him, because he doesn't have a Lucio either. Search is playing the Brig, so he's not going to be able to have that movement speed. But Prophet, being able on that Ashe, already taking down Sad, that should be a first point capture here for O2 Blast.
Ooh, nice little coach gun there. Stop Dreamer rolling into him twice. Could have been thrice there, but it wasn't too careful. Looks like Dreamer's going to have to back all the way up. First cap, though. Yeah, like you said, Scott, goes the way of O2 Blast, and hunkering down's the name of the game. It's up to Dreamer and Sad and, I mean, Top Dragon to kind of roll in and isolate a target. It should be pretty easy with the amount of dive in the Discord orb, too. Something we don't always see is the Zen, and that's why Prophet takes his head off.
Yeah, and this is the issue if you're the Dreamers. The onus is on you. You're the ones who are needing to execute a high-quality dive, get onto the Ana, get onto the Ashe, and punish them for it. But the problem that they're having is every time they're trying to set up, Prophet's picking a player, and then from there, the dive just falls apart. So O2 Blast playing this clinically, but Dreamers need to find a way to get into a fight because Sad on the Sombra, we're 41% on the capture point already. Sad's barely even keeping up the capture point. Yeah,
no,
that's not great, Jack.
All good. Looks cool, though. Right, there's the engage from Dreamer. Boom, double slam, a little sleep. But look at
no follow-up.
Prophet. Well, he just sits there and he's like, fine, that's cool. I'm just going to stay with my Ana and myself a Bob. Oh, nice clip there by Top Dragon. They do end up trading. Nano Boost was thrown out onto Prophet and Dreamer. Yeah, there's absolutely no way. And Bob's now just going to play Minefield, bro. A little bit of ASMR for you in the twilight hours.
Bob do something, but that was not what they expected Bob to do. Sad still struggling,
bro,
to get up to this EMP, just not able to do anything. I would prefer to see him just hack the Ramatra almost and just put out a lot of pressure. But he's looking for the hack on Nakaru. Can the follow-up be there from the rest of the team? Because last time Dreamer hit the slam, but no one was there to follow it up, so they didn't have enough damage to close it out. That's a lot better. Karu falls.
There's the kill. All right, Karu dead. Rally pop 2. Top Dragon going pretty low. But once again, this thing does end up going down. And, well, it's just who are you cleaning up now. Backline gone for the Dreamers. And it's going to look like a 99-0. As Pulse Bomb ahead of who are you. Karu's coming back on the Moira to get back ASAP. There's the EMP. Does end up killing the Ashe. But, I mean, who are you just kind of locking this point down? With
it's a lot of damage missing now for O2 Blast. Like, they don't have the Ashe, so therefore Dreamers might be able to juggle this point effectively.
There's the Pulse. Dreamer dead. Slow bleed out now. Top Dragon. I think he's got a recall. Low HP. Gets healed up with the Transcendence. Top Dragon still doing a lot of damage. And there's the window actually deployed. With the lamp too. Annihilation's going to do a fair bit, but through that window, Dada actually takes him out. But who are you still alive somehow? How is he just stayed alive for so long? And does give Dreamers enough time to actually cap. And there you go. Okay, Missin's on the board, baby. He's got that one final blow on the Zen. Feeling pretty good.
That goes exactly back to what I was saying. As soon as they lost that Ashe, all of a sudden that like big punching power damage that O2 Blast needed to have on the point wasn't there. So when Missin's Transcendence came out, they had no way to really clear off the point. So Dreamers do manage to start getting some percentage back on the board, but it costs them everything. They don't have the amplification matrix, no Transcendence. So they're trying to apply as much pressure as they can. Not the greatest ball mechanics I've seen from Dreamer.
That was the slowest roll of all time. Looks like me bowling, bro. I used a little ramp to push the ball down.
Oh, yeah, and you got the bumpers on the side as well?
I've got the bumpers on the side, man. That's what Dreamer's doing right now. He's got the bumpers lined up. Yeah, and ain't nothing happening. Oh, my God, what a flick. Okay, well, that was short-lived. Mine's available for Dreamers. There's the EMP. There's a rally on the point. 99% for O2 Blast. Not sure Dreamer's going to be able to touch. No. And there you go. Scott, Prophet stays alive. It's a bit of an easier game than Dreamers kind of want it to be.
Yeah, Prophet was able to stay alive quite effectively on this Ashe, and if you give Prophet room to shoot, he's going to get picks, and that's exactly what he did. It didn't feel like Dreamers really were able to do anything in that round, just barely even holding on to get that first capture point. And who are you as a player that we haven't really spoken much about in this map, but he was known in the league primarily as a Genji player. He collected a ring with the Shanghai Dragons back in the day. I don't remember how much playtime he got, but it wasn't a lot. But
I think it was really 2 maps or something like that. It was very low.
Couldn't have done it without him, Jack. That's all you need to remember.
That's so true. You're so real for that, actually. You're so real.
But Huayu's been making a name for himself on other heroes than just the Genji since he's gone back to contenders. We know he had some other flex heroes in his wheelhouse, but now Tracer, that's such a huge pick. If he can add that to his repertoire, that's enormous. And for O2 Blast, it's automatically paying it off.
Yep, there you go. All right, Protect's back on the Ram. Aim of the game, Protect Prophet. That's it. A little bit of protection. No protection, in fact. Supports. Hello? Karu? Thoughts on that? Thoughts on me dying on high ground when you were looking at me?
Well, Search fell on the Brig, and then it just all started to crumble for them. And you can see how if Prophet doesn't have that room to shoot and Dream is able to get in his face, it's very difficult to do anything as Ashe. Like, if you're O2 Blast now, how do you enter into this fight? And you can actually see a switch here from Protect. Switches over to the D.Va so that he can pressure Dreamer, give that space to Prophet.
Super rough. Losing that first fight is pretty bad for the team with the Ashe, that's for sure. Oh, Prophet gets antied. Follow up. No, Dream doesn't want to go too deep, but Top Dragon at least doing a fair bit of damage on the high ground too. 65% on the duplicate already. Another good nade. My God. All right, Dream is now locking it down. This is the thing with Protect. Like you said before, Scott, in the bit of the pre-show there. Ooh, nice E. It's really hard to make space with a D.Va. Like, you can push people for high ground, sure, but you can't just dive in like you can on Winter, lay down a bubble, cut off the healing. It's very tough on D.Va.
How do you stop Missing from just sitting here on the Ana, just healing anyone up who's, you know, holding all angles? He's healing everyone. He can go in with the nano boost, and now Dreamer has freedom to do whatever he wants. He's on the back of Karu. Search isn't there, but that's an important sleep.
Karu's 1 HP, good sticky bonds from Top Dragon. Yeah, you can't matrix that laser either. There's a free duplicate available. There's no shot. He just There's no way he used dupe on the baby D.Va.
He just duplicated a baby D.Va and turned into an enormous mech. Like, make that make sense, Echo.
I can't. Brain scrambled. Maybe cheating. Maybe. I don't know. Cool. I mean, look, it doesn't matter. He got the kill, and Dream is going to continue holding the point. Who is going to be able to juggle here at least with Protect. Dream is going to be able to come out with the primal rage. Doesn't want to use it either. I think they're more than happy just to eke out some percentage and then go for the retouch. Both races now using their blinks and using their recoils, and there you go. Sarge is end up going down. Although Prophet is so low, the peel is crazy though. Another Meeson nade hits the backline, and Karu and Prophet end up going down. Only Dada on the point. He's flailing, he's swinging. Good sleep onto Protect, and the Dreamers are going to be able to come back. This support backline, Dada and Meeson just unable to die, just refusing to go down. Unbelievable defense there from Dreamer's backline. And is any touches? Any touches at all?
None at all. Who Are You did a great job on that Tracer, but as you said, Jack, Dreamer's backline, Dada and Missing just never falling. They were just holding their own. The issue with the D.Va really rearing its ugly head of the D.Va wasn't able to get the punish onto the backline, and then Missing just staying alive long enough to hold onto that point. And those were 2 rounds that were not close at all, but in completely different sides of the ring.
That is quite ridiculous. We're having a discussion today whether Brig should be nerfed or Ana should be nerfed. Thoughts on that?
I actually think Brig is in a pretty good spot. She fills a solid niche. I think Ana is really the primary culprit right now, who just does... Ana just does so much. She has the sleep. She has the biotic grenade that can be used offensively or defensively. Nano boost is a very versatile ultimate. And she does a lot of damage and healing as well. At this level, Ana's do a ton of damage. But we head over to Mecha Base, 3rd round here. Both teams playing the Reinhardt. Actually, Protect on the Ramattra. This is, you talked about this, a lot more teams are leaning into this Reinhardt style, especially in the West, but Protect, we know how much he wants to stay on this Ramattra, but with Who Are You going down almost instantly in this first fight, it's going to go Dreamer's way.
You really do just get run over with the Rhine. Like, it is crazy how... Nice move! How do you deploy that lamp in time? Wow, miracle lamp. Heals from Meeson, all good. Hit the lamp, past the window too, or past the wall too. And a free window as well for Dreamers. This is what I kind of expected on Mecha Base, to be honest. Especially if Protect doesn't play the Ryan either, really. I mean, Dreamer is more than happy to play this pick. Like, you just walk at the ram, it's so tough to get anything done. And there you go, he ends up going down. Even with the Mei to hold the defender, like the defensive line with the wall. I mean, Sad is just melting them in the front line with the beam. It's so tough for the Ram to get anything done here, Scott.
Yeah, and Ramattra is great when he's in Nemesis form, but that is one of the issues that Ramattra has against the Reinhardt, is that you're kind of dependent on having that cooldown available to you. While Reinhardt, you can just go whenever you want, and you have a pin to follow that through as well. Earthshatter here for Dreamer. Oh, never mind, doesn't even need it.
Okay, there was no healing on the Soj. And there you go, the team fight is won. Damn. This is looking like me, 6 years old, stomping on an ant pile on my back garden. I'm going to be honest. This is not close. The ants are not winning.
Hey, but the ants, they need to get some coordination going, and that's the O2 Blast. They just need to do something together. They're getting picked off. How many times has Prophet been picked off? The ants are just scrambling.
They're scrambling, bro. They're not even fire ants. They're just the little puny small ones. They don't even fight back right now. This is so sad.
That's what you think until they take over. I believe in O2 Blast. They need to just mount something together.
Are you sure?
You're a bully.
Ults, but they're about to get bullied by Dreamer. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Yeah, he's got an Earthshatter.
Controlled by wall. Home team. There's the window out. He's got the shatter. They're going to yeet the Blizzard in. Dreamer's going to have to pin it out onto the point, but he doesn't actually quite make it. Big beat coming up from Dada. It's going to help Dreamer stay alive. There's the shadow into the backline. Karo in trouble. It does end up stunning Protect as well. I mean, this is just slaughter. Like, there's nothing you could do. A million ants couldn't get taken out right now. Like, a million ants couldn't take over. There's no coordination in the world that's going to stop Dreamers from just running over O2 Blast. I mean, that was just easy from Dreamer. And again, Dreamers, that's the problem. Like, Protect can't really play the Reinhardt into this, and switching over in control late into the game is so rough.
Dreamer's just eating it as well right now. He's like, just another day at the office for the Reinhardt.
He was like, we gotta finish, dude. I gotta finish my food.
He's swinging for the fences. And as you said, Jack, Dreamer's looking very coordinated, having a lot of ideas and strategies. They had the SimTP back and forth. They knew how they wanted to roll out. While on the other hand, O2 Blast, it just felt like making mistakes time and time again and getting punished for it.
Yeah. They poured boiling water down the anthill, Scott. And,
it's like that stuff that ruins ant senses. You know the thing that like you have like lemon juice or something and the ants just like scatter and they don't know what to do? That's what just happened to O2 Blast.
Well, we're going to take a break and talk about ants. You can in chat as well. We'll see you guys in a bit. Dreamers versus O2 Blast. Welcome back, everybody. I heard you guys were talking about your favorite ants in the chat, and I thought I'd throw my hat in the ring. I quite like the pyramid ants, Scott. It's they're quite cool. They create like volcano-shaped mounds, apparently. They're most common in the southern regions of the US as well, apparently. And they won't bite unless provoked. They're pretty chill dudes. So yeah,
unless someone's like you who's just kicking these pyramids to the ground because you're a big bully, you know, they're not going to attack you.
That was Dreamers, but sure.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Kick the anthill. But O2 Blast, they need to get their ant game together. They need to get their coordination because right now, Dreamer, Korean Hardy, is running all over them on the Reinhardt. We saw when they were able to play the Ramatra and put Prophet on the Ashe, and Dreamers tried to counter it with the ball, it didn't work to any degree. But as soon as Dreamers felt more comfortable, they were able to play the Winston, they were able to play the Reinhardt, they looked drastically better than O2 Blast.
Yeah. Well, Nambani. Protect. I gotta level you with Chief. Ramatra here, probably not great. It's probably going to be a little bit more diva play here, but again, the weakness of diva, it's holding the high ground is so tough. So tough as diva. It can be done. It can be done, but very, very difficult. And to be fair, Scott, we have also seen a lot of Rhine here. So if they want to, if Dreamers continue rolling out on the Rhine, they very well could do that. It's probably going to be more of a Winston angle, but they could just throw to blast a curveball if they really wanted.
Yeah, teams have played the Reinhardt. The first one that comes to mind is Florida Mayhem. Someone played the Reinhardt on first point defense, and what he did is he essentially just stood on the high ground waiting for the opposition to step up, and then he would just jump down and pin for the fences. And that can work if you coordinate it well with the rest of your team. Obviously, Dreamers, they've shown their effectiveness at it, but if you're O2 Blast, you have to see this coming in some way. But I don't think O2 Blast has the ability to react to what Dreamers want to play because they kind of have to play their own style. You know Prophet wants to play Hitscan. You know Protect wants to play like a Diva or a Ramatra. So trying to play to your own strengths might be the best way forward.
Oh, there we go. O2 Blast. They're going to be jumping on the Diva. Diva defense for Nimbani. I've always been curious about the Barney's map design, where like the devs initially intended for people to hold, because around this first section of the map, near the attacker spawn, like this whole bit out the doors here.
Yeah.
Who is ever, apart from Sombra players, who has ever gone in any of these buildings? Seriously. Unless you're on like
a lot of hybrid maps, you know. RP server. Hey, you know, the RP goes crazy. You're at the airport, you know, you're trying to travel over to Dorado, so we are going to see a Reinhardt come out from Dreamers. They're just taking this high ground with Sard on this Cassidy. Very different look. I don't think we've seen Reinhardt on offense very much at all, but Prophet gets
first pick.
Yeah,
look,
that's hard.
Map right click onto the trace. Feeling pretty good for your top dragon. Now you can just jump on the point. Who's really going to contest you now and juggle? Well, Protect's going to get rolled because you can't eat the left click of the May, unfortunately. And he's just waiting for you to come to us, pretty much. And there you go. There's the D-Mech. Karu's the only one left. He's on high ground, and Karu is dead. There's the first point. Going over to Dreamers.
And you can see Misson, he's having a great time.
They're having a good time.
They're so confident. I actually really like this Reinhardt look, knowing that O2 Blast, they can't play the dive, they don't want to match you. And if you know that you can win this Reinhardt versus Ramatra matchup that we just saw in the last map, then you want to force O2 Blast to make this exact swap that Protect just made over to the Ramatra.
Yeah, I mean, a lot better a stage, that's for sure. But it's still really tough as the Ram. Yeah, I mean, you can guess that you could throw the Vortex down to stop Dreamer getting on the back line, or like stop Dreamer from walking up to you, but with the Lucio speed boost, and where you don't actually have one, it's so tough to do much. I still sticky bomb launch there from Who Are You? There's the Vortex, like I was saying. Dreamer's getting rolled in the front line, but the Window's going to be able to keep it up nice and healthy. A lot of additional healing, a lot of additional damage. Even throws out the lamp to make sure Dreamer doesn't end up going down. And while Dreamers are going to just continue rolling on forward. Got to go for a little flank, in fact, and there you go. Karu's in trouble. Gets walled off, can still see the rest of his team as Dreamer goes low again, but has earned himself a shatter. Who Are You somehow staying hidden behind the payload. Never seen that before. He ends up popping up, earning himself an ultimate, as well as a kill onto Dreamer after receiving that nano boost. Maybe even two if Top Dragon's not careful. He's going to get chased away. And yeah, now it is just going for a big reset if you're Dreamers, but you've earned a few ults in this fight at least.
Yeah, that was just great damage from Who Are You. He didn't even need to use the duplicate with that dive. He just absolutely pumped damage out with the tri-shot. And then the Sticky Bombs was also able to take one out. And that's an important hold right there. And you can see Dreamers, they have such limited options that they can do things with. They don't have the Symmetra to TP themselves around. So they're at the mercy of the high ground players of O2 Blast just sitting. And now O2 Blast, they have a lot of ultimates in their bank as well. Protect has the Annihilation. Prophet can force positioning with the Dragon Strike. This is where it gets difficult. How are the Dreamers going to maneuver so that O2 Blast aren't going to be ready for them? Dragon Strike to try and stop them from taking the stairs, but they're just going to wait it out.
Yeah, they're going to wait it out. Maybe it kind of assumed that they instantly take it rather than waiting for a little second, a little moment.
Oh, Sticky Bombs!
That anti and the stickies forces a sound barrier, but Top Dragon's already dead. Say that, Karo ends up going down as shortest duplication in history. Protect ends up finding 2 kills on the backliners of Dreamers with, I think it was 2 kills, 1 punch there. But wow, who used duplicate? Yeah, it went and gone in a big finale.
Yeah, and those Sticky Bombs are just so impactful when Dreamers are all stacked up like that. How much damage? I think that set of Sticky Bombs did like 300, 400 damage with just that one cooldown.
Every Sticky Bomb landed, like, connected with
something. And if you're Dreamer, you need to be catching that stuff. Same thing with the Biotic Grenade that they got hit by Hikaru. You need to be catching those kind of cooldowns because otherwise your team will die.
Watching Hardy Bods right now, getting walled up onto the high ground. Oh, Prophet. No, not the solo shatter. Oh, the pin kill too. Nice little nade on Dreamer. Might not be able to get kept alive. No, there's the Sticky Bombs from Who Are You. He is just annihilating Dreamers right now. Dada, though, showing off his skills, killing Karu, but I mean, Who Are You still up? They are going to be able to push the payload at least a little bit here. Who Are You 100 HP. Too scared to go for that mini pack in that room either. I mean, there's
no one can touch.
Can they even get a touch? No touches at all, in fact. Who Are You is just too low.
Yeah, and the spawns were too far away. Protect was trying to make his way back, but he was never going to close that distance fast enough. So Who Are You able to get those couple of kills back, but all for naught. Dreamers finally, after a couple of bad fights, able to close in, and this is where Reinhardt gets easier. On this third point, everything is very level. There's no high grounds as much, so they should be able to utilize this Lucio better.
Annihilation. Oh my, I've never seen so much damage done towards Protect.
Ooh.
Nice Annihilation kill. Huge punch too. God, it is satisfying watching that happen. Nano boost, Annihilation, easy 4K.
That's why a lot of people like playing that Ramatra versus the Reinhardt, because you can punch through the shield. So there's nothing that Dreamer can do to mitigate any of that damage. He can mitigate the Annihilation, but as seen in that team fight, it's just not enough. But Dreamers, they have time. They have 3 minutes in the bank. They're just charging ultimates up. Going to actually try and take the high ground as Protect is actually holding very close.
I really like this close hold, man. Really like it. Oh, do they know? They should know now. Who Are You with the duplicate though, Scott? Transform into the Rhine. I mean, Rhine seems like the best option here. There's no on in the enemy team. Nice window actually from Misten. A very aggressive one, in fact. It's going to stop the instant rotation from O2 Blast, or at least for the time being. And
they have the card jack.
Dream is in a very good spot with O2 Blast. They've got a tank, kind of. It's Who Are You on Rhine. Nice little bash.
That
There's
works.
the pin. Could be huge. Does end up getting popped out of the duplication, but gets taken out. The trading is good here if you're on the defense. So O2 Blast more than happy with these trades as Karu does leap onto the payload, but a late death actually might cost them big time, especially with the Shadow for Dreamer coming up. And in fact, I said it's good for the defense here, but the spawners are just trickling out of spawn. There's only one touch. It is Protect. They use the sound barrier to instantly take the point. And there you go. No Shadow needed. 1 minute and 55 seconds on the clock.
And that all is because Dreamers, they flipped the map and they're actually pushing the cart throughout the entire duration of that fight. So as soon as O2 Blast started losing, you saw them slowly trickle, trying to slow down this progress of the cart. And by the time that they did all finally fall, they were staggered out. No one could touch the cart and Protect. You know, he was able to get there, but no one else was there to help him. And Dreamers, just great heads up play of understanding how to manipulate the fights in your advantage. So instead of having to win 2 team fights, they only ended up winning 1.
Yeah, that big stagger on Takara was pretty nasty. And especially, well, with Protect going down super early too, like he was so desperate there, it felt like, Scott, to touch the point as it was slipping away from them. They didn't want to just rotate round because I feel like they could have very easily, even without the Lucio speed, just ran high ground, you know? But they committed so much here. That pin did end up landing. Maybe Who Are You gets the shatter after another swing there from the duplicate on the Echo, but man, these late kills really cost O2 Blast big time.
And that just trickled down effect. I like the idea that O2 Blast went for, where they wanted to hold the close high ground, not give that to the Dreamers, but you need to recognize when you need to react and adjust, because they can't have a fight like that. And that's how you end up losing a map like Nabani with 2 minutes remaining. That's very difficult to come past. And now O2 Blast looking like they've got something interesting up their sleeve. We're going back to the Who Are You Genji.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best Genji players of all time. That is for sure.
Yeah. Since the beginning of time. He's been doing this since like 2016 when he was like 12.
When's the game released? I want to know what the first hero he ever picked. You know, like when you boot up the game for the first time, was it Genji?
I think he was a Genji one-trick. Like, I think when he first started playing, like, especially even coming into competitive, he was a Genji one-trick, but that was fine back in those days. You could get away with just being that Genji guy. He's, as I said earlier, he has been slowly building out his hero pool. O2 Blast actually walking out, realizing what Dreamers are playing, Reinhardt on defense as well, and go, okay, let's not play Genji. Man. They go to the Hunter, they go to the Echo. They want to go those high damage output heroes that are going to be able to break Dreamer's shield and find picks.
The last couple of weeks have been crazy. I'm just saying. The amount of time we're seeing now is just, it's so fun, man. Like, we've seen a lot of Winston. Love seeing Winston dive, don't get me wrong. But there's nothing like just two Reinhardts just swinging at each other. Just going absolutely crazy. Like they're playing Blood Bowl or something, you know? Just absolutely swinging, knocking each other senseless.
Yeah, and Dreamers, they won that first fight. We didn't even really see anything. Who are you
he's just
lurking? Just hanging out, you know, just enjoying the views. He's going to jump up and they're going to try and find some way to sort of contest this high ground against the Dreamers, but they've already lost a minute and a half off the clock.
Pretty rough. There's the sticky bombs. They went wide, I think. I didn't see any hit markers for connections. I think it's one of those situations where you missed everybody, but everybody was standing in a group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like it weaves their way through.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's rough.
Oh,
that
no.
is so rough. Oh, Dreamers and Dreamer.
Wow,
oh,
this is not being close. And you can see Missin and Sad are just sitting on the opposite high ground, just almost playing the game for free. Anytime someone tries to peek their head out, Search switches over to the Lucio, hopefully trying to give them a little bit more tempo. Just play a little bit faster, because right now it feels like they're slowly walking into the open embrace of Dreamers. Jump shatter. Oh, no overhaul.
Okay, well, it was the thought that counts. Dada ends up going down. Blizzard thrown out by Top Dragon. Is protected by the Lamp, but here's the Annihilation. Lamp's not going to survive all too long, but Annihilation is going to get blocked off by Dreamer. Those punches do end his life rather swiftly. And finally, O2 Blast have cracked through this defense of Dreamers. However, a window from Missin on the high ground is going to stop the advance, at least for the time being. But a nice little double tap. One for the Hanzo, one from the Mei. The Ice Arrow doing a whole lot of work. Dreamers, they might be able to get back to the point, but how long are they going to be able to survive? That is the question. Oh, dear.
This is bullying. It's the ants all over again.
Well, oh, he kind of rolled them, actually. He trapped them on the ceiling, but I don't think it'll matter all too much. There's the nade, the punch onto Dada, and here comes the kills, and maybe the point two. There you go. All right, O2 Blast, they're on the board.
And that all happens because Search switches over to the Lucio. Yes, obviously, Dreamer kind of trolls with Jump Shatter, kind of feeling himself a little bit too much. But the Lucio's speed boost catches Dada off guard. He wasn't expect Protect to just bust through that choke so quickly, able to take out those supports, and then from there, everything trickles down. And now O2 Blast, with a lot more control and able to hold on to a lot of their big ultimates. They have the Who Are You Blizzard, which can easily isolate Dreamer.
He's not scared, though. Look at him. Not scared.
This man doesn't fear anything. Look at him.
Not a single
He's just trying to eat again. He's just trying to... He's thinking about that next fight.
Please, bro. I need to eat my lunch. Oh, well, that is a great Blizzard. Yep, straight into the back line. Freezes too. Ends up killing Sad with the help of those Dragon Strike. Seen some nice Dragon Strike usage over the last couple of days as well, Scott, specifically on this map. And Barney, I feel like it's quite, I wouldn't say infamous for Dragon Strikes, but there's so many small like chokes you can throw Dragon Strike down. Feels like one of the better maps for it.
And you like to call Hanzo Dragon Strike the cosmetic ult, which it usually is, especially in a dive setup. But when everyone's playing these rush styles where, yeah, everyone's sticking together and they're moving as a unit, Dragon Strike are very useful. And even if it doesn't find picks of just forcing positioning, you saw exactly how it was utilized by Prophet there. Because now we go into the second point checkpoint. Dreamers are trying to close this one out. Oh, sorry, trying to get back into this one while O2 Blast tries to close it out. They're on the high ground.
Boost there. Oh my God, Sad. Jesus, he got turned to mashed potatoes, mate. that punch a little bit too much for him there. Dada ends up going down as well to protect, and yeah, Annihilation while he's frozen, and he's still killing. He doesn't need to do anything. He could just sit there AFK, all good. Annihilation does the work. There's the cleanup. 3 minutes to go for O2 Blast on this last point, Scott. I mean, Dreamer had the Shatter, the one good tool actually to stop that Annihilation just ripping and tearing through your entire team.
Yeah, exactly, right? And Protect was just nanoed while he was frozen, so he just doesn't take any damage. Like, it feels like in that moment. He even turned his head, a smart heads-up play. Oh, nice Shatter.
From spawn, 3-man Shatter. There's the beat, though. Ends up hitting a lot of people, but not enough to protect. And who are you? Search with a great sound barrier, but wasn't to be. All good. Big reset here. They're not going to get more time than Dreamers, but they still might have time in the bank. As long as they finish for more than a minute, that's the goal.
I feel like Reinhardt players, everyone just goes like, there's no way he just pins back from spawn and then just flips a shadow, right? Like, there's no way he would ever do that. But it works, like, so often. I think it's kind of like it's so obvious that it works in a way.
Dreamer. All good. Increase healing from the window, but he is LOS. Decent. I really like the forward play, but they are getting C9'd right now by a couple of people. Dada ends up falling as he tries to touch the payload by the looks of it. There's the Blizzard. Top Dragon in a little bit of trouble. Oh dear, Dreamer just managed to get out there in time and kills Who Are You, is overextending to try and take kills on the Blizzard. Who Are You and Prophet finding headshots. And now, well, Top Dragon's in trouble. He's got a Blizzard in 1%. I'm not sure he's going to want to throw this one in. No, just walls himself off. Just stalling for time here, which is actually pretty decent from him. Enables Dreamer to get back, and Nissan and Dada will rejoin the fight in just a moment, Scott.
They need to be careful that they don't get staggered while they're waiting for Top Dragon to respawn.
No! Oh, Meesin. The most selfless bat play I've ever seen. He ends up lamping Dreamer instead of himself, and he ends up falling. It didn't matter in the end as he got taken out by Annihilation. And now Top Dragon does return with a Blizzard. Doesn't freeze anybody. And there it is. O2 Blast finish with time.
And that was it. Great play from O2 Blast, recognizing Top Dragon's down. We can just push our advantage. They nano protect into the backline, able to take down Missin, and from there, not enough healing to be able to take the fight, as both teams having a lot of success playing these sort of rush compositions on attack on a map like Nobani, which is quite unconventional.
All right. I mean, like I said before, Scott. Oh, okay. We're just seeing this one, huh?
Yeah,
okay.
Watching Top Dragon's worst nightmare.
Yeah. Man, he was just trying to get a drink from the machine, man. Leave him alone, dude. He was like, you guys got change? I've only got a bill.
Get him out of here.
Get him out. Kick him out. Kick him out the shop. Yeah. A minute and 13 seconds for O2 Blast on their offense. I'm liking what I'm seeing. A lot of Reinhardt play. A lot. I can't imagine they'll ever go sim on the defense. The Cassidy's just too good, especially knowing that Who Are You will just jump onto Echo. But I would like to see some little bit of sim play as well. Always quite interesting to watch.
There's like a sim gene. You know how we've talked about like the Reaper gene in the past, where it's like some players are just really good at Reaper because they understand how it needs to be played. I think Symmetra is the same way. There's a lot of nuance to that hero that if your team and the player isn't comfortable in playing it, it can be very difficult to utilize in a big way. And that's something that I think Sparker does a great job on for the London Spitfire. They utilize those teleporters very, very well. But if you're not confident in that, just play something like Cassidy on SAD. He's a great Cassidy. Why not just stick with it?
There's the speed boost Annihilation. Perfectly timed wall there by Top Dragon. But somehow Dada goes down. What?
Caught again.
Okay, Dada ends up falling. Just random logs. Looked like the wall was maybe in the way there, but no. Dada switch over to Lucio, try and come back, but Dreamer's super low. Good shield play actually from Dreamer there, stopping him from instantly dying to those arrows. Who Are You falling, and with Meesin back? I mean, look, Meesin's got more than enough heals to help the team, and Dreamer just escorting his team around. Dreamer's Reinhardt, obviously quite spectacular. Literal Korean Hardy coming out. And this is the big thing with the Reinhardt. What a lot of Reins we see, I feel like don't understand is that sometimes you just need to hold shield. And like Hardy does that very well. And Dreamer's also doing that super well too. Just holding shield, blocking all those heals to make sure they can isolate people and kill them.
Yeah, but we're going into overtime now, Jack. They're trying to walk in through the front door. Protect. He's getting very low. Who Are You trying to keep him up? Yeah, no, it's not enough.
No way Protect survives there. And yeah, like I said, Dream was just holding that shield in front of the rest of O2 Blast, and it's just so tough for you to do anything. It's like, okay, do I have to step forward as the Ana? Like, Lucio has to maybe boop Dreamer out the way. He's just understanding. Beautiful little chuckle on his face there as well. But it's just understanding of the Reinhardt in this comp is just second to none.
And this discussion has gone back and forth so much ever since Ramatra came into the game of like, who is better in this rush setup where you're the Reinhardt or the Ramatra? The Ramatra, he has more sustainability of the fact that he's not dependent on the health of his shield, and he can be healed up all the damage that he takes as he blocks it. But as you said, Jack, Dreamer, if you utilize the shield effectively, you can protect your team better, and you have a lot more life and self-liberty to be able to do what you want to do and play the way that you want to play. And Protect right now, even though he is getting a lot of healing and protection, it doesn't feel like he's able to withstand the damage coming out from Dreamers.
Bit of a bloodbath this game too. I'm just peeping the stats real quick. 46 kills apiece for each team. Damage done. O2 Blast just him out the damage just a little bit. Oh, about 1,000. So same kills in it, about 1,000 extra damage for O2 Blast currently. Well, a lot more healing. 4k more healing for Dreamers on the other hand. But a bit of a different defense from O2 Blast. Search is now on mercy duty, helping out Who Are You and Prophet.
And it's worth noting as well, Protect is doing almost 50% more damage than Dreamer. Like that, he's doing a lot of damage and he's getting a lot done on the Ramatra, but when you look at it with the eye test, it doesn't feel like you're seeing that. It feels like Dreamer is putting out just as much damage, but he's also finding more final blows. TP, here comes that sim strat we were talking about, Jack.
Oh, they all get lamps. Who Are You is just gonna, okay. I mean, Dreamer's not on high ground. Dreamer dropped. He was not with the rest of his team at all there. That seemed very discoordinated. I don't know if they were like trying to scare people off high ground or what, but Dreamer dropped almost instantly.
I almost think that Dreamers weren't expecting the Echo Mercy. Ash. Like, I think they were maybe expecting another, like, rush composition. They wanted to catch off the backline, but there was just so much damage as soon as they tried to TP up. This time, they're going to take this left route, get up through these stairs, give Sard room to just shoot,
I mean,
right?
Look at this damage. Oh my god, he gained 20% ult charge with one use of sticky bombs. Protect doesn't end up going down. We're going to protect the res. Oh, Search in trouble. Yeah, they're just going to run down the Mercy now. Oh, the Magnate. Again, going a little bit wide. And it will be a little duplication of a Lucio. Good luck getting Sound Barrier, and this should do infinite damage. Neeson doesn't end up taking a fair bit. Oh, C9. Okay, well, C9. Anyway, Dreamers end up taking that map. Who are you? Like, anybody going to touch? I'm on Lucio. Very unfortunate state of affairs as O2 Blast unable to touch Nambani Point, and Dreamers, they're looking in very good standing right now, Scott. Feeling pretty happy with themselves. As, yeah, I mean, look, we said it before. Dreamer was snacking on some lunch earlier, maybe just wanted to finish it.
Yeah, and they're just taking a page right out of, you know, some of these other teams that we've seen in the West of like, hey, if we're good at Reinhardt, we can find a way to make it work. And right now, O2 Blast don't really have an answer to that problem.
Yeah, well, there you go. Could be a swift 3-0 for Dreamers. We're going to jump to a quick break. Escort up next. Map 3. It's Dorado. O2 Blast and Dreamers right now. Who's got their head in the clouds? Well, it's Dreamers. They just want to get out of here. Maybe get some lunch. O2 Blast, on the other hand, well, unfortunately, Scott, the fuse has not been lit. No explosive gameplay at all. Yeah, I spent the whole break thinking of those lines, and they were pretty bad. But it doesn't matter, because O2 Blast, they need to find something special.
They need to blast off into the sky so that they can keep up with the Dreamers right now, because they are getting left in the dust because the fuse hasn't been lit. And we're gonna stop doing this analogy because it's just not very good. It's just not very good. Let's just be honest with it. But right now, O2 Blast, they are heavily struggling, unable to deal with anything that the Dreamers have been throwing at them, especially when they're on the Reinhardt. The thing about Dorado is it's not really a Reinhardt map, but on the other hand, anything is a Reinhardt map if you try hard enough. So I'm curious to see if Dreamers are going to try and go back to that one or play the Winston, because Dreamers have the ability to play the Winston and they can play it at quite a high level.
I mean, how do you deal with the Ryan? It's been a bit of an evolution. At the helm is the London Spitfire, as always. Their mid-season blow-up. When they do pull out the rush, they do pull out the Rhine. It seems to go super well for them, but it always does take I feel like at least a couple of weeks for teams to go, okay, so this is how we play around this stuff. So right now, Dream is kind of taking advantage of that in some way and saying, well, I mean, the Rhine's pretty good here. We've maybe seen other teams run it. Maybe we've played it ourselves a few times here, but O2 Blast, they can't really come up with much either, because Protect, his best heroes, D.Va and Ram. But you really just can't play those into the Winston comp or even into the Rhine comp. So it honestly looks like Dreamers are just going to roll over them on Dorado. A lot less Rhine-centric, I guess. But honestly, at this point, you just run it again, because O2 Blast don't have an answer.
Yeah, you run something until the opposition team proves that they have a way to deal with it, right? Regardless of the map, I'm sure the Dreamers can find a way to maneuver around and sort of find the targets. And it's not just, in my opinion, the Protect Ramatra, which is struggling because of the Mei and just getting isolated by the Reinhardt. But on top of that, they really want to put Prophet over onto these like hit scan, like the Ashe or the Hanzo. And it feels like Dreamer is just constantly putting up his shield, mitigating that damage while they close the distance. So it doesn't feel like you're able to find that value out of Prophet. So maybe just a compositional matchup issue here for O2 Blast, but they need to come up with some solutions here on Dorado.
Policio might be a little bit better of a map for them. Running the ramp. But yeah, Dorado seems like a tall order. I mean, Dreamer can also just hop onto the Winston again.
Also, it's worth noting.
Yeah, go on.
This Dorado music is a bop. I'm glad Dorado's just in the pool, just so that we can hear this music again. It goes crazy. Sorry, you can continue your point. I just thought the viewers need to start paying attention.
Nah, it wasn't important. Speaking of music, though, on Dorado, you know, Futurama is one of my favorite shows.
Okay, this is the direction we're going.
Yeah, this is the direction we're going. I still can't play the Futurama theme on the bells.
Really?
Yeah.
Can other people do it? Is it that you're musically inept, or it's impossible?
No, it's not impossible, because I've heard people do it. I'm just very musically inept. Did you do music classes at school? My parents really tried to teach me how to do instruments. I think I started learning the violin, the guitar, the piano, all of these different instruments. I'm also musically inept as well. I'm just useless at them. So, yeah, I did the whole thing with the guitar when I was a teenager, and yeah, same kind of thing. It was fun, but it wasn't something I was clearly super interested in. I wasn't very good at it.
Yeah,
and there you go.
That's why I played video games.
Now here we are. On the water though.
Oh, nice. Maybe you can play. Can you play that on the bells? Because I feel like
on the bells.
Play that on the bells.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Smoke on the Water, like the intro riff is pretty easy.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look what we got going on. Lil Winston, and yeah, of course, Protect is on the D.Va. Prophet, who are you? Are going to have to go nuclear here, it feels like. Not sad, failed the jump switch.
Yeah, it's reset, lag, reset the map.
Oh, Top Dragon's getting rolled by who are you? Wow.
So we are going to see Dreamer and Dreamers playing this dive with the Tracer and the Echo. So O2 Blast, they have a pretty good setup for this, but it is going to be dependent on Prophet hitting some shots, because Protect, he's not going to be able to play aggressively and put that pressure on. So Prophet, he's going to have to utilize that space that Protect is giving him.
Man, the Widow is such a risky pick here as well. You need it to pop off. Good headshot, but I mean, these flanks are going to be pretty deadly from Top Dragon. However, who are you is there to help Prophet out and stay alive. And getting Misi onto this high ground too with Dada is going to be pretty important. I mean, the D.Va, you just cannot dislodge them at all if you're D.Va. You just get whip-shotted. You just get rolled. Plus, like, your head hitbox is so large too. Although it doesn't matter for the Brig and the Ana because they can't headshot, but still. It's a really tall order, and you're looking at who are you making a dive with Protect, but even then, the shield's good enough on the Brig to absorb those stickies.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see, Missin's just more than happy to move around because he doesn't have that threat. As long as he doesn't get headshot by the Widowmaker, he should be able to stay alive. He does get naded though. Oh, never mind. Okay, cast the curse. Who are you able to follow up on that biotic grenade?
Big biotic grenade. Feeling pretty good about that one. You do end up finding the mech though of Protect, so they are very much still in this one.
There's low healing though here for Dreamers. Losing Missin, they're not going to be able to play as aggressively as they would like, but they're going anyway.
Good sleep. Yeah, they're going to try and get top Dragon finds who he. There's the Nanos on the Brig. Maybe not the best target that you wanted, but at least there's some extra healing there. A nice anti once again. Missin's kind of going crazy on the Ana. These Bionades permanently making sure Search and Karu have to play safe. And there you go. There's point A unlocked.
And that's usually because Missin, he has the freedom to use these bio grenades. A lot of Anas, when you're playing against the Winston Dive and the Tracer and the Sombra, all those types of tools, you want to save that biotic grenade to heal yourself. But because he doesn't have that level of threat, he's able to just throw them aggressively as much as he wants. And if he finds an important target and Dreamer is able to follow up, that's such a big win condition for them. And I spoke about it heading into this map. Prophet needs to find value on this Widowmaker to justify the pick. He's currently still sitting at 0 eliminations, 0 final blows, and that doesn't help.
No nade. Oh, he didn't have nade.
He didn't have the nade, yeah.
Oh, that's so rough. Well, there's the sights. Who are you? Can just dive bomb whenever he chooses. Oh, God, imagine if Echo could copy Echo.
What would they turn into? Would they turn into themselves?
Well, no, you turn into the enemy Echo, right?
But do you keep getting Echo copies? Oh, the remake on the side.
Oh, no.
Oh, huge
what
sleep
a
as well.
sleep from Missing again.
Yeah.
Man, what an unbelievable sleep. Ends up tagging the Echo mid-air. I want to see a replay on Sag and a remake kill, though. Tracer getting remake kill. You don't see one of those every day. Dreamer escorting Search back to the spawn room. There's the duplication from Top Dragon now. And Prophet's reign on Widowmaker has come to a swift end. And the payload's going to get moving again.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if Prophet is going to switch. It doesn't feel like he has any ability to play this Widowmaker. But he is going to stay on it. I'm not sure if I love this pick. And now Dreamers, you can see they're trying to hold aggressively. They don't want to give O2 Blast the freedom to get into this fight. Make it as difficult as possible for them to get through these doors.
The backline for Dreamers as well is so safe. Who are you on a big flank? Going potentially around the world at this point, I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen him in the fight just yet. Search is just bash, swing, bash, swing, bash, swing. Man, this is giving me a headache. And Protect are going to at least find kills on the backline. They were safe until they got that one. Unfortunate stuff. But regardless of them losing here, it's really going to be about Dreamer and Sad and Top Dragon going for an execute on the backline. No. Oh, okay, you just chilling? I mean, come on now. Come on,
He's just the world's slowest wide peak as he slowly peeks out to see the Dreamer head hitbox. But hey, he's always got up to another wall. As I said, Prophet needs to come up big. He's doing it now. If he can keep hitting these shots, and now Dreamers, they have such a long distance to traverse against the Widowmaker. So there's so many opportunities for Prophet to find that angle. And no rally, as you said.
Yep, no rally for Surge, so his dive's going pretty easy. Karu in trouble. Matrix, but still solo. Nade onto Surge by Musin. So, but surely making their way up to the high ground there. Prophet abseils his way. Oh, narrowly avoiding 2 headshots. Would have been a sick clip, but doesn't happen if you don't hit it, sadly. Dreamer ends up leaping all the way back, but now they know there's no nade, and they're building up to a nano in just a moment. But with Top Dragon going down, this is final fight. Sad ends up falling to a headshot. You've got to escort yourself back now, Dreamers. You've got to run. Any staggers here is going to be disastrous. Dada, in fact, going down super early. Same with me, Sin. This is time off the bank they can't afford.
Yeah, we haven't really spoke to it, but Sad has switched over to this Sombra as well, so he's trying to put more pressure onto Prophet, maybe hack, give themselves a little bit of space that way, but not only that, they have the big EMP tool. They have this ability to sort of dive as a collective unit, and they're coming up to a lot of ultimates. They got 3 online right now, but Dada and Sad will come up to these ultimates quite quickly. So 5 ultimate fight for the final fight for Dreamer's attack.
Thank you for the assistance.
Dupes available for both sides too. Can make it a double tank dive. Good nade. Good sleep though.
Another
missing
one.
again. Nano boost onto Who Are You is going to get completely denied pretty much. There's the duplication straight into the Ana. So double Ana on the field versus a copy Diva. There's so many people on the field right now. I'm going to be honest with you, Scott. But protecting Surge end up coming up clutch. Surge just dives into the backline after that nade came in. And a free nano boost from Who Are You with the rally on top. Oh my. O2 Blast with what seemed like an almost impossible defense after Dreamers taking that first point. And Dreamers, hey, guess what? They got double support ult, but you can't use them if you were dead. Unlucky for Dreamers. They can't end up getting those support ults online, as Who Are You, regardless of the sleep, ended up coming up big. A free nano boost onto Search, who just dropped down on that anti-nade. A lot of expertly placed nades this whole round so far, Scott. These Anas honestly are just carrying from the backline.
And that was the crux of that teamfight win for Who Are You. That duplicate onto the Ana to keep himself alive and then hit the huge biotic grenade onto the backline that was then followed up. That really just made it impossible for the Dreamers to be able to do anything and utilize the ultimates that they had. They even finished that round after losing with a couple of ultimates in their back pocket as well. Who Are You? We can see the Echo Diff. Oh, nice sticky bombs into Beam, and we see that time and time again, and that's such a huge pick because you can see Dreamers really wanted to like use that positioning. If Top Dragon doesn't fall, that could have been quite a clean dive, but instead they had to go to the next fight. They lose that one as well, and now they're stuck on second point. O2 Blast looking quite comfortable on this Diva Widow here on Dorado.
The Diva is pretty tough to dive with, but now is their true test, actually getting to this high ground, because against the Brig, the Winston, and everything else. I mean, again, Prophet just kind of has to come up big, right? On the Widowmaker.
Yeah.
I feel like he wasn't putting up crazy like kill feed clips, but consistently getting sights, helping Who Are You that way, and also just doing damage even to the tank, right? Forcing Winston to use bubble, forcing him to leap away, or be careful with his leap, be careful with this bubble, with the fear of getting headshot.
Some TP onto the high ground just to give his backline positioning. Searching Karu, taking that. Gotta be careful with Top Dragon on the Echo. But looks like they will manage to hold onto that spot, and that's a big play. So now all of a sudden, Search and Karu, they can move around to the right side high ground, or Prophet can follow it up, and you can see Dreamers, they have to concede so much space just because of the fear of the long sight lines and the freedom that the backline has.
Re-engagement. Dreamer ends up getting slept and teeth, but no, that beam through the Matrix. Another big problem with the Diva there. You cannot stop that Matrix damage from Top Dragon. You can't Matrix the damage from Top Dragon, rather. That beam. Oh, didn't quite land that kill. Oh, he's going to test him. Oh, and he got the headshot too. Meeson finds the trade at least.
But that's a big pick for Prophet because they're holding so close. Top Dragon's going to be back a lot later in this fight than Prophet. So even though that felt like an ego play, it's going to give them a lot to work with. So you can see now Dreamer has to fall back. Missing is getting up to this nano boost though. So O2 Blast backline is going to need to be careful. If they overstep, a nano boost of Winston will be in that base.
So you doing a fair amount of damage too with those try shots. And yeah, there's the nano
Here it comes.
There's the nano boost. There's the Winston. Oh, gliding through the air, trying to track Who Are You. I don't think you're escaping this one. Oh, I say that. Prophet ends up getting away.
Where's the backline? I think Dreamer is just as confused as I am. It's like, where's the Ana and the Brig?
I don't know.
Oh, they're on the right side stairs.
They wrapped a high ground. All right, okay. Don't lose the battle to the baby diva challenge. Okay, all good.
I think every Tracer player's nightmare is when you have to kill that baby diva, because you should never lose that. Who Are You still finding picks though, keeping them in this fight, and Search getting sad as well. All of a sudden, O2 Blast are in a great position to close out this first point.
Yeah, there you go.
Dreamer has Primal Rage, so he's going to go back for
Primal Rage, yeah, you have to. Leap over, hit the Primal if you need it kind of thing. The slowest peak of all time. What is... I mean, mad respect. Mad respect. Prophet's going to get chased down by the Duke. Looks like I have the high ground. Well, you will soon. That is for sure if you want to use it. Nicely. Onto the copy Tracer. Onto the copy debrief. Speaking of copies, there's the Tracer. There's two of them now.
Big bio nade hits
Primal
3
Rage
people.
not being used. I mean, these bio nades, Scott, yeah, like you're saying, it's so hard to get much stuff done. I mean, Dreamer holding onto the Primal there is pretty massive. You'd expect him to almost instantly pop it as soon as he touches the payload again, but the patience and the trust in the backline there was just so smart from Dreamers.
Yeah, it's hard to know if that was another great play there from Missing or if it was Top Dragon. No, it wasn't Top Dragon duplicated because he switched over to the D.Va. So another big play there from Missing on the Ana. Hitting that biotic grenade really turned the tide of that fight. Now all of a sudden, O2 Blast with only a minute. They have a D.Va Bomb, but D.Va Bomb doesn't really offer much other than a second chance at life for the D.Va.
Now watch this.
Now watch this, yo. Go for the Reddit clip, yo. Throw it into the backline. Go for the 5K.
The Reddit clip is throwing it directly up in the sky and somehow it's getting 5 people. And a boost in the backline. Look at the damage coming out from Dreamer. He still has Primal Rage, mind you. Oh no, the self-destruct! I told you. Oh, he hit the Primal. Oh my god, Dreamer. How do you survive that?
He's going back in.
He took 300 damage and he's going back in. Oh, now Karu regretting taunting the Winston. Protector almost goes down too. They're going to chase him. There's the D-Mech. Pulse bomb thrown out by Sad. He still finds a kill. It didn't even land. A D-Mech and a kill with a pulse bomb. Good anti-nade from Karu. And the flare will get him. Yes, they can. Who are you going to be able to execute Dada? And a good whip shot too. Clean out Missing. Somehow, some way, O2 Blast are going to be able to clutch this one out. I mean, Sad's there, but who are you in the gang? My word. O2 Blast just have this weird clutch factor, Scott.
And that was this series hanging in the balance. If they lost that fight, all of a sudden that's 3-0 to Dreamers and we go on to the next series. So that's great plays. As you said, just coming in clutch. Who are you on this Echo? But not only that, Search, that was such a big rally. So much value in that small room, doing a lot of damage, keeping everyone alive. And now they have 2 minutes to close out. Once again, backs against the wall. Karu is so low. He's anti-nade.
Couldn't be lower. 1 HP.
But he's alive. And that was a duplicate there from Top Dragon as well.
Seeing the dupe Ana's just on insane flanks is so funny to me. Well, there's the Nano. It was on the brig, I believe. And yeah, as soon as that dupe fades away, so does the Nano. Speaking of Nanos, who are you on the high ground? Doesn't end up getting a kill. However, he's going to be able to re-engage. Good shielding. There's the beam. A good whip shot again from Dada. But no, here comes the third attempt engagement. He copies the brig, ends up falling down to low ground, and Karu ends up paying for it. That was a lot invested by Who Are You to try and get kills there, but Dada and Missing just staying alive that entire time. Dada eventually dies to micro missiles, but Provet's going to get chased all the way to spawn, but saved just in time by Karu.
And that was a huge duplicate from Who Are You once again. Who Are You has been absolutely phenomenal on this Echo so far this map. Not just as Echo, but in the duplicates as well. Switches over to the brig, gets the rally, and that's just too much sustain for the rest of the Dreamers to deal with. And now all of a sudden, they're one fight away from closing out Dorado. If Prophet can find a pick, this would be huge.
They've got sights coming up. Oh. Don't test it. Don't test this guy. They've got Rally as well, Scott. But they've got to be careful. Nano, Primal Rage for Dreamers.
Yeah, Dreamer has the tools to be able to do whatever he wants.
I mean, who he...
Oh, Sad.
No, Sad ends up going down. Big kill. Dreamer on the payload, trying to stop it getting sunk in. And hey, you've got a Rally to deal with now, so he's not even going to try and damage the brig, because that guy is a tank. And also,
Top Dragon's just a pest.
I mean, he's a pest, but yes, Nano. Big waste of resource there, if I do say so myself. Doesn't even end up finding a kill, but with Surge dead, only one healer left. The pest turning into a little bit more than that now. They weren't able to land in the glue trap. 5 seconds to go even. Nice try shot in the air, and here's the Reddit clip, Scott. Boom, ends up killing Dreamer. But it's all good. GG's. Dreamer says, I know, no. Everybody laughing, and GG's all around. Dreamers with a swift 3-0, Scott. Looked pretty close to the end there. O2 Blast maybe ended up coming up with a win, but wasn't quite to be. At the end of the day, on the defense on that second point, the defense just have such a monumental advantage. It's such a short distance to run back, and it just helped him seal the deal at the very end.
And the limitations of the D.Va really showing themselves, where on the defense, where you can play on the high ground, you can sort of defend anyone from being able to assail you, that it works great. But as soon as you're the one who needs to be taking that space away, you can just take too much damage. The Echo Beam just does too much. And Dreamers just definitely looking like the better team in this series. They have more flexibility within this meta, but also that trump card, putting Dreamer on that Reinhardt and just running people down, catching them off guard.
Yeah. It was really tough for O2 Blast to come up with any kind of strategy to counteract that. Let's have a look at the player of the match, though. It's going to be Dreamer for Dreamers.
And I think this is Dreamer was a great player, but honestly, you need to give credit to the entire squad. It feels like as a collective, they're playing so well around Dreamer that enables him to be that sort of aggressive player, be able to play the wild way that you need to on Reinhardt. So Dreamer absolutely deserves this player of the match, but credit needs to go across the board for the team as well.
Yeah, just fantastic team play, like you said. It's really nice to see teams swapping over to the Reinhardt every now and then, and it really does put a big strain on the team play. It's a lot of individual heroes in Dive that make up the success, but when it comes to Reinhardt and the Rein comps, the Rush comps, you have to all be on the same page at the same time, knowing what you're doing, knowing what the plan is, who you're targeting, how we approaching these chokes, how we're using cooldowns. And I think Dreamers have that in spades, honestly. Dreamer at the helm, showing the Rein, showing the flexibility for the whole team. This is what you need in this meta. Anything that's kind of thrown at you, you know a new patch is coming, come playoffs time. But right here, right now, it is Winston, it is D.Va, and it's all Dreamer.
Yeah, and not just his offensive capability, the thing that, pumps the stats and, keeps people alive. You highlighted it so well here on this Numbani Jack. The way that he utilizes his shield to protect the rest of his team to play aggressively as well cannot be understated how valuable that is, and something that Reinhardt does a lot better than Ramatra. So Dreamer, cutting off the healing right there as well. Doing it time and time again, utilizing the shield more than just to protect yourselves.
And yeah, nice play. I mean, you can see why this guy was in the league, and it does feel like a long time since he was in the league. Like, we're talking 2021. Valiant,
yes.
And then he used Outlaws for a little bit. Like, his individual mechanics are really good, but yeah, game sense just off the charts.
Yeah, he's one of those players that he was never a weak player within the league, but especially when we went to Overwatch 2 and 5v5, oh my god, who woke him up?
That was so... No, it was the delayed... It was the sleep timers on the tanks.
Okay.
Sounds like we're going to have an interview. So, yeah, we'll have to listen to what's going on. We'll go from there.
안녕하세요. 드리머 선수 승리 축하드립니다.
Hello, Dreamer. Congrats on your win.
네, 인터뷰로 처음 인사드리는 것 같아요.
아, 네, 제가 솔직히
I think this is your first interview.
아, 감사하네요.
아, 오늘 받을 줄을 몰랐다고
Well, I didn't
말씀하셨는데
expect,
승리 소감 간단히 한번 해주시죠.
earning myself an interview today, so it's a pleasant surprise.
일단은 저희가 어제 서울한테 지고 나서 무조건 O2는 이기자.
So how do you feel?
마인드로 했고요. 일단은
Well, after we lost
이겨서
to
기쁩니다.
Dynasty yesterday, we just
이겨서
we just grouped
강렬하게
up and just
말씀을 해주셨는데
said, let's win against O2. Let's at least have it half of them. Let's just win half of the matches this week.
캐서디를 끼운
And we
라인
delivered.
러쉬를 가지고 오셨습니다.
아, 네, O2가 이제 또
You played Rush with Cassidy on Numbani.
자주 기용하다 보니까 이제 라인으로 가자 이런 의견이 나와서 잘 먹힌 것
So
같아서
we had this
연습은
discussion
안 했는데
where we
잘
talked
먹고
about
나서
O2. They like to play a lot of the RAM, so like we were working on how to counter that, and then the Rhine Rush kind of came up, and also the Cassidy kind of followed.
드리머 선수 라인하르트로 굉장히 좋은 모습 많이 보여주시고 계십니다. 혹시 라인하르트로 참고할 만한 그런 선수나 팀이 있을까요?
So, you play a lot of Reinhardt. Is there a specific team or player that you take reference for Reinhardt play?
네, 굉장히 잘한다고 생각하고 있어요.
So the only Reinhardt that I think is better than me is Hadi. So I definitely look up to Hadi when I play, when I kind of design my Reinhardt play.
물론 모든 포지션, 모든 선수, 모든 영웅이 굉장히 중요하겠지만 드리머즈의 러쉬에 있어서 가장 뭔가
Of
중요하다고
course,
생각하는
all
그런
the
선수가
roles are
있을까요?
important, but which hero, in your opinion, is the key to Dreamer's Rush
저라고
comp?
생각하고요. 제가 없었으면은 드리머즈는 일단 라인은 안 했을 것 같아요.
So I definitely think it's me, because if I weren't there, Dreamers would not be playing the Rhine Rush.
그런 생각도 들 것 같아요. 지금이 윈솜트 메타가 아니었다면 드리머즈의 순위가 조금 더 변동이 있지 않았을까 하는 생각도 들었을 것 같은데 만약에
Okay, there are some
라인
people in the
메타,
community
러쉬
that say that
메타가
Dreamers
오면 몇 등 정도 할 것
is kind of
같아요?
like being held back because of the Winston and double flanker meta. How high do you think would you be on the table if it was a Rhine meta?
1등을 목표로 할 건데 솔직히 2등이 최선인 것 같아요.
So I mean, of course, we would definitely want to say that we would be top of the table, but realistically, if it was like a Ryan Rush meta, I think we would be something like on second-ish
뭔가
on the
그래도
table.
라인 메타가 온다면 상위권은 할 것 같다라는 말씀을 보여주셨습니다. 그만큼 뭔가 지금 메타에 맞지 않는데도 잘 기용을 해주신다는 말을 해주신 것 같은데 오늘 윈스턴 플레이도 하셨고 라인 플레이도 하셨잖아요.
네.
혹시 이것 말고 대중에게 좀
So you also
이것도
played the
잘해라고
Winston and Dorado
각인시키고
here.
싶은 영웅이
You also played
있을까요?
a few other heroes as well. Like, do you have any other in the bank that you're willing
일단
to show?
라인 윈스가 주로 하는 것 같고 그다음에 다른 영웅이라기보다는 메인테이긴 한데 에임이 좋은 편인 것 같아서 서탱도 괜찮게 할 것 같아요.
So usually my main specialty is Ryan and maybe Winston, but I think amongst the main tanks I have good aim, so usually I think I can play a little bit of the off tanks as well.
일단은 저희가 그 전부터 준비를 많이 했고 이제 맞춘 지 그렇게 오래되지도 않아서 성적이 막
So coming into your next matchup, so what's your resolve coming into those matches?
광저우, 항저우
We have the Zo teams left.
잡을 수 있게 노력하겠습니다.
We're a team that we haven't practiced a lot together, but we're getting better and better as time goes on. So we'll just do our best, and we'll see how it goes.
감사합니다.
And that is the end of the interview. Back to you, Jack.
Hey, thank you very much, Unknown, for the interview. There you go. Here from Dreamer. Obviously, we have another few games happening this evening. We have Charge versus Dallas Fuel. Dallas Fuel, Scott, I'm going to be honest with you. It might just be a roll, man. It might just be a roll. The Charge needs to come up with something super special, but Dallas looking like they're in and they're feeling their old selves. We're going to go for a break. Don't go anywhere. Dallas Fuel and Guangzhou Charge up next.